Chill motherfucking lows, peoples. It's the Critic Corp. I am Toke. As you know, fresh out the motherfucking theaters here. Just got done witnessing the early screening for Good Fortune. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You heard. From me first. First thing. It's like, nah. But, fucking, this was a pretty solid film, man. Like, I didn't expect these actors to even be all in the same movie together. Actors and actresses. You know, this whole casting was, it was different. And they all meshed very well. The chemistry was just on point. Like, Good Fortune really, it threw me for a curveball. I wasn't expecting, I didn't have any really high expectations for this. And even when I came for the screening and whatnot, I didn't think it was going to be a packed theater, but it was. It was. I mean, yeah, granted, it's early screening. This movie doesn't drop really till October 17th or whatever. But I was shocked. I was very shocked. It was completely full to the max, man. Thank God I got here when I got here. Like, shoot, it was the nitty gritty left for sure. But, yeah, man, let's talk about this film. So, Good Fortune, it really found it's a real breezy rom-com, and it delivers, exactly what you would expect. Laughs, charm, a feel-good story. The film just really found a way to thrive off the very witty dialogue that was sprinkled all amongst this film, and like I said, the undeniable chemistry between the casting and the leads, the supporting cast or whatever, and the leads, just kept the energy very light and engaging all throughout the film, and it made the vibe of the movie just downright jolly. What really stood out the most in this film, was the movie's ability to mix humor and mix humor moments of genuine warmth, and it doesn't really try to reinvent the warmth and the genre of a rom-com and whatnot, but it just really finds, I would say it really found a way to embrace the classicalness of it, the classical rom-com formula, but in a way that just felt very fresh, very, very fresh, just very refreshing. I walked out of this theater not feeling like it was one of those thinking old, still old rom-com movies, materialistic. But, oh no, my bad, I'm sorry, materialist, my bad. But you know what I mean, that one with Pedro and Chris Evans and shit like that. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Good Fortune, because it was a very good fortune I got to see this movie as early as I did. I really did not, man, I didn't expect this. I really did not expect this. The pacing was tight. Like I said, the supporting cast was, they added plenty of flavor just to overall make this movie such a vibe, bro. It was colorful, uplifting, just, one of those real feel-good movies, man. But I will say I have a little bit of pet peeve, and this is what's going to make my rating what it is. So let's do it. Let's hear it. Let me dish it out to you guys. The writing, or like I said, the witty dialogue was still, dope and whatnot, and, the chemistry and whatnot. The performances was done very well, but the writing kind of at times felt a little clunky, when it tried to handle certain aspects and whatnot. It kind of got quite predictable. The faulty editing choices in this was just downright absolutely it just wasn't good it wasn't great at certain times. Sometimes it was dope, sometimes it was bearable, but sometimes you could really peep like who's editing this, because like some of the production designs are just really cheap, and at certain screenshots and whatnot. And yeah, the musical score is decent, but the editing choices just really felt messy, and as if it was like almost filmed by a poorly student in college or whatever, and trying to make a name for himself, getting its work in the process type of deal, It just looked sloppy. It looked sometimes it looked very sloppy. Not the whole film though. Like I said, it's all in all, the movie is still a good watch. If you want a nice little cozy, laid back, vibey film, this has tons of good moods without demanding too much of emotional investment. That's how I'm gonna put that. That's how I'm gonna leave that with this film. And with that being said, my rating is going to stay at like I give it like a 7.2 out of 10. Yeah, I give it like a 7.2 out of 10. Nothing more, nothing less. Still go check it out, guys. Leave some comments once you do. Let me know your guys' remarks on this one. Like and subscribe. Thanks for always tuning in. Support the motherfucking corp. And yes, so be it. To the motherfucking Lou, peoples.